Welcome back to another insightful session on our Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Mastery Series. Today we're focusing on a critical component for managing web traffic and ensuring high availability, and this one is load balancing, load balancer in OCI. We need to click on the hamburger menu, we need to click on the networking, so this is another part of the networking series, and in here you can see we have this menu, load balancer, okay? So in a digital world, load balancing means that incoming web traffic across multiple servers will be split across different servers in the backend. The load balancer in general is not optimizing only optimizing the resource utilization in the backend, but also prevents a server overload. So it's gonna ensure that your application will remain highly available and responsive. So OCI provides a fully managed load balancing service, designed to distribute traffic across evenly across the servers, or even with the different, let's say, distribution options in there. So if I'm going to click on a load balancer menu in here, you'll be able to see, let's say, if I'm going to click a load balancer, let's discuss a little bit directly on the menu as we usually do. We have in here two types of visibility types of these load balancers, okay? So when we click a normal load balancer, this is a layer 7 load balancer. This is what you need to remember. So this is designing for application. If I press cancel and let's say we go to the overview, in the overview you're gonna see a very nice comparison between a load balancer and a network load balancer. So the first one, the basic load balancer, it is for layer 7, layer 4. So that means that if I want to load balance layer 4 application, I can also use this one. But we usually go with this, because this one is free of charge and it covers 3 and 4 layers on this one. Now, this one acts as a reverse proxy. So what is important? Even if you have in the backend only one server, you don't have two as recommended for high availability. It is much better to have a public load balancer in front of it with a public IP, and in the backend use a private IP. So that means in case of an attack, no one will be able to know exactly what is the IP that is hidden by this reverse proxy. In here, you're gonna go with a maximum of 8 gigabits per load balancer. So this is the limit. If you go with the network load balancer, this goes, there is no limit on this one. It goes to multi-terabytes per second. So this is very powerful. If you have voice over IPs, I don't know, maybe real-time streaming solutions and so on, that will be solution for you. What can be used? It can also be used for backend auto-scaling. So when I'm going to talk about the auto-scaling capabilities on OCI compute, this one will be used. I'll use this, but we can also use the network load balancer. What we can do in here, really important, we can terminate SSL connections on the load balancer, but we can also go and let's say use an SSL connection on this one. We can do SSL offloading, and also we can use an SSL connection on the backend. So that is very nice. And in here it can also have a web application firewall attached to it. So this is not part of the network load balancer, so it's really important. And really important, remember that I talk about the flexible shapes. This is also flexible shape that you have for the load balancer. So now I'll go back to the load balancer and I'll try to create a load balancer, and I'll talk about this visibility public. Remember, when you create a load balancer and in the backend you have a private subnet, you can go, you set the visibility for the load balancer to public, and in the backend you'll be able to connect to the private network, and you'll hide your private IPs and you'll make it much safer. Okay, now if you want to go, let's say, maybe to use something for high availability, you have this option. You take a private IP for the load balancer, and in the backend you can connect to a private network in there. So you have also these two options. Now when you're talking about private IP addresses, we have these two options. I didn't talk about them, but I will talk about now. So ephemeral IP addresses means that a public IP will be assigned for you from the pool automatically. So you don't have any control on this. While with a reserve IP address, what you can do, you can create a new reserve IP address, let's say, and you name it demo LB. So we're gonna create this IP address, and after this one it is created, you'll be able to use it anytime we want. You can delete this load balancer, you can recreate another one, and when you recreate you can choose from the existing IP if it is not used. Okay, also important, you have the IP pool, yeah, from Oracle, but you can also bring your own IPs, so you can create a public IP address from your IP pools that are in there. Really nice and simple. Okay, moving for the next shape. In here, yeah, so in this shape you have the capability to start from minimum of 10 megabytes, yeah, 10 to 10, yeah, so this one is already free of charge, but you can go up to 8 gigahertz, yeah, for this, the maximum one that you can use for it. If your network supports IPv6, you can also enable IPv6 for this load balancer. Okay, I will not use IPv6. In here, I select in here. You can also use network security groups for traffic control. So that means when we're going to create a network security group, we can assign it directly. So if we're going to use it for web applications and I want only port 443, I can create a network security group that is directly using port 443, and that's it. Yeah, I will not have to go to the security list, add port 443 in there. Yeah, and when I'm gonna add these, all the machines that are publicly exposed in that subnet will be accessible on port 443. While with a network security group, if I open and I put this network security group to a machine or to a web to a load balancer, only those machines will be exposed that port on the internet. So it's really important. Yeah, this is our recommendation. Use network security groups instead of adding the ports into the security list. Now, what is really important when you're gonna put this in here? Yeah, we have these advanced options. As you remember, yeah, in the beginning I told you that a layer 7 firewall, yeah, has the capability to use a web application firewall. Okay, so we're gonna do this later after we're gonna add a domain in the DNS and so on. Yeah, we also go with creating this load balancer. We're gonna create an application in the backend and gonna add a web application firewall policy to it. In the management, yeah, it's gonna tell you what is the compartment where I want to use, and also I can go with this web application acceleration policy. But at this point, yeah, I will leave this advanced option clear. Now, moving forward, yeah, the backends. Yeah, the backends are the servers where our application will run, yeah, and where our load balancer will try to connect. So in here, we have 3 load balancing policies. It's really important to remember this one, yeah. We have a wait round robin, so that means that when traffic comes from each server, yeah, to the load balancer, yeah, the traffic will be sent in the backend one by one. Yeah, so if we have 3 servers, this one will go to server 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah, things like this. Next one, yeah, it's IP hash, yeah, so that means that requests from a particular client are always redirected to the same backend server. So if I'm coming right now in the backend, I have 3 backend servers in there. I will go and always go to server 1, yeah, because this is using IP hash. Yes, I will not be balanced to another server. And this one, yeah, list connection, this policy allows incoming requests to the backend server with the fewest active connections. So if we have a server that has 30 connection, another one that has 20, another one that has 10, I will go to the one that has 10. Yes, I will not overload this one. But with list connection, it's pretty similar to wait round robin, yeah, because yeah, it will always go to the one that has less, so it will go 1 plus 1. Okay, next option that you see in here, yeah, we have the backends. In here, when we're gonna have the instances created, we can go and we can select the instances. We're gonna specify what is the IP address, and next we're gonna specify a health check policy. So health check policy is looking at your server in the backend and is looking if that port is opened, and if it's open, it's gonna be green. Okay, so when you're gonna have a green application in there, then you'll be able to connect to it. If it's red, then there will be no connection available to that, and you're gonna get an error. Now, other option, yeah, you can go in here with the SSL certificate. In here you have 2 options. By default, that is the older option. It was one of the initial option in here. You can go and you can put manually your SSL certificate in here, but you can go and use certificate service management, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit later, yeah, in the security part. Okay, so with all of these in place, you need to press next again, and in here, this is the listener. Yeah, the listener, let's say it is the gateway to your applications. Yeah, we have the listeners, which is in front of the load balancer, and when a user comes from the internet, yeah, it will connect to the listener first, and based on the listener, yeah, it will go in the backend. Okay, so we can also, yeah, go in here and we can put it also the certificate part on listener if we're gonna select an HTTPS one. We can go in here with HTTPS in front of it, and in the backend we can ignore that part of SSL. Yeah, so it's okay. We can put it an HTTP on different other ports, HTTP2 or even TCP. Okay, so these are the options that you have with a load balancer. And that's it. At the end, it's gonna ask you to enable logging on this part, but as I said, at this point I will not enable it. I will not create this load balancer because I want to have a different full guide, yeah, on how to create the load balancer, the compute part, auto scaling, and so on. Yeah, so we're gonna see it later to create this one created. And that's it. Yeah, thank you for watching my video on OCI load balancers, and see you on the next one. Yeah, related to network load balancer. Thank you.